This show is presented by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com and use the code
Nutsack.
Nope. Then what is the code?
Dangle.
Dangle. That's correct for 20% off and free shipping.
The Steve Dangle Podcast, powered by Sports Interaction, Canada's sportsbook.
The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
You scooted over a lot, so now you're one shots off, but, you know, it's okay.
Do I need to...
So when you have your one shot, lean over. There, okay. No, the other, no, go. There you go. Okay. No, go back. Lean.
This way? This is very confusing.
It's all right. Okay. It's okay. Welcome.
Yeah.
To the Steve Dangle Podcast.
Not that far. Oh, nope. Wait, what? Sorry.
Today's show is a little different. There's no Adam Wilde, who is under the weather.
He is. Aren't we all under the weather, technically?
You know, if you say that the weather exists in the sky, we are all under it.
That's what I learned in science. That's how it works. Yeah, I send it into a microphone.
Is this a thought because the weed stores have been opening more and more in Oshawa? No, in Oshawa and Whitby, sorry.
Yeah. How dare... Ajax!
Ajax!
How dare you!
Ajax.
Go west!
Ajax, oh.
Yeah. Man, weed stores look like Aritzia now. Like, they're really fancy. They sell merchandise.
Yeah.
Whereas the one by my house, or by my old house, it made you very aware that you were buying something that was very recently illegal.
You haven't been downtown, I guess, because downtown, they're everywhere.
Of course.
And they all look like Aritzias.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. No,
it hasn't come to the burbs yet.
It hasn't come all the way out to Ajax.
Yeah, we're getting some of that internet.
Today's show is going to be a little different because instead of sometimes we do like big, long topics, I have a bunch of short things that have been happening around the NHL that are so interesting because so many random players are off to hot starts. Random teams are off to hot starts, and there's been a bunch of little news that have been sprinkled out throughout the week. You know what I mean?
The big stories swallow the small ones. Like you sort of asked me before the show, like, what do you want to talk about today? And I'm like, well, there's so many little things, right? Like they don't necessarily need a full 20-minute segment, but like, can't we all just take a moment to like revel at, holy shit, TJ Thompson got 6 points.
Holy shit.
you know, like something like that. And the Sabres look like a wagon. And
like, let's give 2 minutes and just praise TJ for a second. You know, like that's the stuff we're going to be doing today.
Yeah.
But obviously we need to start with the big stuff.
What's the big stuff?
The Toronto Maple Leafs.
Of course. Pontus Holmberg. Let's go.
Pontus Holmberg. So I guess let's start from the reaction from Monday. Because the Leafs get back to town. There's, according to the people who were there, it was 24 reporters pile into the Ford Performance Center to talk to the Leafs. Because the Sunday game, it was just a media storm. Monday, we get all of the takes from the Toronto media. Everybody goes to the locker room. Everybody's asking questions. One of the ones that I thought stood out was a reporter asking Mitch Marner if he's playing for Sheldon Keefe's job right now. Do you want to hear that one?
Oh boy, who asked that?
I don't know who's asking the question, but let's play this one.
Okay, here. Before you play it,
okay,
because I don't want to be accused of attacking any one reporter, right? Mm-hmm. So now I don't know who this reporter is. So I'm just saying this as a general observation. I've made similar observations before, so you know I'm telling the truth and I'm not picking on any one person. Teams hate this. They hate days like this, and they pay very close attention to who is at every practice, who is at every game. There are people who are regular, like everyday people. There are semi-regulars, and then there's days like this where they just cover the big story, or they might cover the Leafs once a month because something's going really good or something's going really bad. The team PR knows this. Management knows this. The players know this. Like Austin Matthews commented on Terry Koshan's facial hair, like in camp. These guys know each other, and there's one thing I know players cannot friggin' stand it's getting asked questions like this from reporters they never see.
And
unless this is from a reporter they see all the time.
We don't know who asked it.
I don't know who asked it.
But to your point, that's the exact same thing when I worked at Sportsnet, because I worked there as well
for
a
did.
brief moment. We would talk about this.
Yep.
The trouble comes when you get the people who aren't there every day. The people who aren't at the team, aren't in the dressing rooms, aren't at the practices, and they come in and they're the news side and they start asking the question.
Is there something wrong with that?
If you want to poke holes at us for being a little gatekeepy of like the reporter job and we're the sports people, we're covering this, we're doing this, okay. But also you're not here every day. You don't know. You're asking questions that we think are out of line because you don't do this. And I think that's fair for us to judge you a little.
And I think it's fair for hard J journalists to judge sports reporters a little bit. And because, that's been a topic over the last year and a bit for far more serious reasons, but it's like literally do your job, So I'm excited to hear this clip.
All right, let's play it. This is a reporter asking Mitch if he's playing for Keefe's job.
Does you feel like you're playing for Sheldon's job right now?
I don't know who that is.
No, I think we're just playing for our, winning games. We're a hockey team that wants to win games, and Keefer's done an unbelievable job with this team when he's came in and done what he's done. And if you look at our numbers, we've really improved on a lot of things, and he's done an amazing job here. And it's been a lot of fun to play for him. And
does you feel like you're playing for Sheldon's job?
Oh, okay. I was like, whoa, he cut him off. Oh no, the clip restarted.
Yeah, that's the loop of the clip.
I mean, that's hey. Good answer from Mitch. Good nothing burger right there. Take a big bite.
He did a great job maintaining his composure on a question that I think is a little offside considering where we are in the season.
He's got to know. He knows.
Yeah.
He knows it's 24 reporters. Like I'm trying to think of like the Leafs media day scrums I've been in. Yeah, I don't think we got to 24 reporters. No, they all got to be prepared. And that's the Leafs staff who we've talked about before. Their PR staff has like a 6'3" and over rule. Like they're all really tall and kind of intimidating. Surely this is the sort of day where they step in and say, listen, you're going to get ambushed here. Just be ready. The one thing that I've seen people very upset about is all the traveling reporters asked for Kyle Dubas to speak, and he hasn't. And I saw Luke Fox just turning the knife a little bit because Doug Armstrong is speaking to reporters.
Yeah, he already did on yesterday, yeah.
But I think there's different strategies there, and we sort of touched on this last episode. In Toronto, things need to cool down. And the GM talking right now, that's not going to cool anything down. Because those questions are coming down on him tenfold, right? Are these guys playing for your job? Sheldon's job? Could you fire Sheldon? Have you ever had anyone not... When was the last time you had someone not named Sheldon Keefe as the head coach of your hockey team? Stuff like that, or not in your organization. In St. Louis, maybe they got to light a fire a little bit. I would have confidence in Doug Armstrong to have a read of that room and for Dubas to read this one. Neither of those guys are new at their jobs, even though one is, much younger than the other. I don't begrudge Dubas for not talking to the media. As a media member, that's the right move.
I was trying to find the exact quote from Luke Fox here, but I couldn't pull up the Sunday. It was in the Sunday post-game column that he wrote, and he wrote that request has been sent to Kyle Dubas to speak to media, and it was denied by Leafs PR. So,
well, I mean, it's a far more reasonable request than the first intermission of a playoff game.
What is that referencing?
Oh, there was a reporter who once asked for Dubas to speak first intermission of a playoff game, and they were very upset that they were denied their rather unreasonable request.
All right. So the reaction to...
If they had been at every game, they'd know that they would have been told no.
The reaction to Sunday's game and everything that came out on Monday, I feel like none of it is unreasonable because of what has happened with this team over the last 3 years and 7 years and decade and 50 years. So I don't hate all of the hot takes. We had some of them ourselves. So moving forward, tonight they play the Philadelphia Flyers. Sheldon Keefe said that splitting up Matthews and Marner will be on the table if they don't turn things around soon. We didn't see that in the line rushes in practice this week. They're not split up yet, but that's on the table. Nicky Bob is scratched.
I don't like that.
You don't like that. So what do you think about the lineup tonight?
Can you pull it up?
Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up.
I know I read it yesterday.
Siegel?
Probably Siegel.
Yeah.
Alter. Alter's really good with that.
Alter's great with the lineup,
yeah. Okay, so the discourse around Marner and Nylander and splitting up Matthews and Marner. I don't know why it has to be this line in the sand thing. And, I know we've all taken hard lines. Like, this fan base is at war, at battle stations. They're good or they're bad. It's time to panic. It's not time to panic. Hold. And Babcock refused to play Matthews and Marner together. And then he finally plays them together, or Keefe finally plays them together, and they really hit their stride. Isn't the benefit of having an abundance of talent options?
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with playing Matthews and Nylander together for like 3 games and then going back to the familiar duo of Matthews-Marner? Like, I think anyone saying separate Matthews and Marner permanently is wrong. And I think anyone saying keep them together permanently is wrong as well. Switch it up. Switch it up. Every good team in the league switches it up sometimes.
A criticism of Keefe has been that he's too willing to mess with the lineup.
That has certainly been the case this season. Well, and then there's Babcock, who never changed a thing.
Right.
A thing.
Who refused to put them together.
So here's what we got. Bunting, Matthews, Marner.
This is the lineup tonight.
Yeah, probably. Bunting, Matthews, Marner. That's something that hasn't really worked this season, but has worked in the past. There's logic behind going to that. Kerfoot, Tavares, Nylander. I don't like that line. I don't think it works. To me, there's evidence that it doesn't work. So I don't like them going back to that. Engvall, Holmberg, Yarncroke. I'm going to reserve judgment because I want to see what this kid can do. He had 2 assists in 7 games with the Marlies. He looked way better than that in the preseason. And Rasmus Sandin today, like one thing I definitely noticed about the team in their quotes today is they seemed a lot looser. So Sandin's talking about like Holmberg's pissed that he still hasn't scored in the AHL, and Nylander's there just looking like a absolute legend. Like I understand why people watch the team struggle and then they look at Nylander and he doesn't say a word and they're like, shut up.
I think so.
I understand.
Not to harp on this point, but that's the perfect attitude to have to play in this city. I think Marner struggled, because he cares too much. He cares so much about winning and not letting people down and being a Toronto Maple Leaf that it's kind of detrimental to his play. Nylander has the perfect temperament to be a Toronto Maple Leaf because he doesn't give a shit.
There's something there.
Nothing's going to take away from his game.
There's something there. With that. So Engvall, Holmberg, Yarncroke, all reserve judgment, and then Aston Reese, Kampf, Malgin. I just don't think Aston Reese has done a thing to earn this spot in the lineup. And I would like to see, listen, I don't want Robertson on the 4th line, but Robertson, Kampf, Malgin. I mean, Kampf we know is an offensive threat now, and he can be a babysitter for that line. Malgin is a fast, offensively talented forward, and so is Robertson. So that I would like to see. I'd like to see Aston Reese establish himself tonight. One thing I didn't understand about the moves that they made, so in order to call Holmberg up, they had to send Simmons down.
Yes.
And wouldn't it have made more sense to send Robertson down instead of Simmons?
Simmons makes more, I think. So it probably has to do with that.
He does make more, but don't they need to be closer to the cap in order to get the most out of their... I'm sure there's a reason for it. The Leafs are obviously smart, in terms of the cap and everything. But I just looked at it like, if you're going to send a player down, it should be Robertson to get him games.
So he's not sitting on the bench.
Yeah. And it's ironic because sending Simmons down actually costs the Leafs more actual money. Like, forget the cap space. It costs them actually more money because his NHL money is guaranteed in the AHL, right? Whereas Robertson, I believe, has an AHL salary that is significantly below his NHL salary, but that's nickels and dimes, and it's not our money. I don't care.
That money is something they're not concerned about. What they're concerned about is the salary cap. And I was trying to see if they are actually into LTIR and how much, but I guess they are. It's an interesting. It's weird.
We'll find out some answers because it looks like Liljegren's going to play Saturday. It looks like he's ready, but he's just not eligible to come back because he was placed on LTIR.
Is Saturday the day he's eligible?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Liljegren's good. He's like an extra right now in practice and everything. Yeah. He's good to come back. And so let's go to the defense here because Mete pencils in next to Riley. The first pairing, the second pairing doesn't really matter. Alter had them listed: Brodie, Hall, Riley, Mete. Either one could be the first pairing. It doesn't really matter. But where do you put Liljegren coming in after he's going to come in on Saturday? Who comes out? What do you think of this lineup that's going tonight?
So Brodie, Hall, Riley, Mete, Giordano, Sandin. What I would do tonight is Riley, Brodie, Giordano, Sandin, and have Hall, Mete on the
I
third
don't know.
pair. Just don't play them very much.
I don't think that's an option for Keefe.
Well, great. Sounds great, man. No, I'd go Riley, Brodie.
You have to at this point, the way Justin Hall is playing and his game and how nervous he looks out there, you need to shelter him with TJ Brodie. Because TJ Brodie is the biggest umbrella for any defenseman when it's raining.
So Riley,
he's going to
Liljegren?
protect you. Riley, yeah, I think Liljegren takes the Mete spot when he comes back on Saturday.
They have too many guys on the right side who don't really play the right side.
Mm-hmm. And Justin Hall needs to be sheltered. There's no other way about it.
I think we can all agree that even if this team does get it back on track a little bit,
back on track,
they back on track suit. They have enough imperfections that they really should be making a move. There are some things, I listen back to LFRs in the podcast, and there are some things where I'm like, yeah, that was a bit harsh, but there are other things that I think were really true. And one of them is they need to get better at like two positions to make a huge difference. I think they need a true 2LW. They need a better option at right D, whether it improves if it improves the second pair or the third pair, it doesn't matter. It'll shoot all the way up the 6, right? And I like the Holmberg call-up because they do actually need some sort of answer up the middle on the third line. So, I don't know. I'm ready to watch them play Philly. I'm ready to watch them play, who do they got?
You got Vegas and, is it Boston?
No, I think it's Boston,
Carolina.
then Carolina.
Boston, Carolina.
Then maybe Vegas. Like, listen, you think the city's on fire now. Like, you keep saying, last episode you hammered, they're going to win Wednesday. They're going to win Wednesday. If they don't, they have Boston Saturday night, Carolina Sunday.
It's brutal.
Ew.
Boston's the hottest team in the league. We'll get to them a little bit later.
You look at that on your schedule and you go, okay, 3 out of 4 would be amazing. Mm-hmm. Maybe even 2.
I think they're going to win tonight because I think every single time we're at our lowest with the Leafs, they somehow manage to pull us back in. Whether it's, do you remember the Chicago game from last year where they won in an OT?
Yeah, that was the turning point of the season.
And then they went, at that point, it was the lowest point. Like, we were all so down on their slow start. And this seems like the game where the Anaheim game, we're at the bottom of the chart of the stock market there, and then it's going to start going back up again because that's every single time. That's what the Leafs do.
And, you and Adam dismissed what I said about Magic, but Marner wins that game in overtime. Like, Gibson never makes that save.
Oh,
what a different discourse.
Yep.
What an enormously different discourse, because the turning point last season was the Leafs playing poorly and then winning 2 games against weak opponents by the skin of their teeth. And then they rode that
15-2.
Yeah, it was, I want to say it was Chicago in overtime and Detroit in either overtime or shootout.
Yeah.
like by the skin of their teeth.
That wasn't the Detroit game that was like 7-5, right?
No,
that was
no.
later
10-7.
10-7. Oh my god.
10-7. It was a Saturday night.
That was like a March game.
It
right?
was. I don't remember exactly when it was. I just remember I was live streaming it, and you can rip on me for the negativity, but the further or the more the Red Wings came back, the numbers just went doot 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 doot. Like people just want to like literally see me die on camera, I guess. I felt the pressure. I rarely feel pressure during those streams, but when the numbers like double, which they did,
and you're like, 10,000 people are watching me.
It's not just that 10,000 people are watching me. It's 10,000 people came here specifically for this.
Yeah.
It's
did you hit 200 on
Not
your?
yet.
No, is it getting there?
It's getting there. So I have an idea for we talked about this, and
do you want to mention?
I'm not ruining the surprise.
Sure.
I'm teasing it. So YouTube has this. Here, maybe I should send it to you. I'll send it to you right now, so you can put it up on the screen. There it is, Bluetooth. So is that going to come through on the show?
No.
The beep sound?
No.
That's not. Okay. So YouTube now has a chart that shows you your subscribers going up over time. And I've been doing this for so long that my channel predates the chart. Like it begins in September 2009. My channel started October 2007. Right? So the first 2 years have no data. But
it says it was canceled.
It was canceled?
Airdrop me again one more time.
Damn it. Here, you do it. There it is.
All right.
It says, anyway, so basically I was looking at it and I was like, okay, I know when I got hired at Sportsnet. I know when the David Ayres game was. I know when the Nashville game was 9-2. I know when the Montreal series was. I know when the playoffs are. I know when the summers are. And I think it's going to be really interesting when I hit 200K. I want to look at the peaks and valleys of the channel over time, because it lives and dies by what the Toronto Maple Leafs go and do. Yeah, Jesse's
so
got
on
it
the screen for anybody watching the podcast on YouTube, we have Steve's channel growth of total subscribers over time, and the time period is 2007 to 2022. But you started your channel in 2005. But
2007.
Oh, 2007. But the chart doesn't go to 2007. It starts in 2009.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where the 2 years I got confused. So yeah, it doesn't go to 2007, but it starts in 2009, and we see all of these little shelves and these peaks and valleys of where you got a whole bunch of new subscribers. And you were telling me before that Montreal is one of the big ones. David Ayres is one of the biggest
one.
Montreal is the biggest?
It's the biggest subscriber climb. The biggest view climb was Ayres for obvious reasons, although Montreal was number 2.
Do you know top 5? Top 5 biggest subscriber climbs?
No, so this is going to be part of the fun is I'm going to go in and look.
Okay.
But like what I think is really cool for like if you're a broadcasting student, okay, I don't have my glasses on. What year is that?
2015.
2015. Look how low it is.
What happened?
No, what happened is it took 8 years for me to accomplish anything.
Oh, you mean like it's just low in comparison to where you are now?
Yeah, but like look how sharp. Like there's a moment in there. And honestly, the moment is right around when the podcast started doing video.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not even talking about the podcast channel. Like we could do this for the podcast when we hit 100K. Hopefully this
Coming
season.
Up. Like and subscribe to this YouTube video.
Yeah.
This YouTube channel. Thank you.
Please do. Please click like. Please click subscribe. Please tell all your friends. But I don't know. Maybe it's what does Jeff Merrick always say? It's a little bit navel gazy. You're looking at your hey, here's my navel. I don't care. I think it's cool. And I'm going to celebrate myself by having a look at the channel.
It's your YouTube channel. I think you could make a video about your YouTube channel on your YouTube channel.
But there's moments we went through together. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, hey, remember going through this game? That sucked. Hey, here's the Carolina game. Here's Leo being born. I can do ridiculous stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think the people who watch your channel will care about the history of the channel.
Yeah. Like, there's people, I have to keep reminding myself that there's people who haven't been here for all 16 years.
Oh yeah,
This is the 16th season.
With this podcast, like I forget that people just discovered it recently, and they don't get everything. Like all of the jokes we make that are like 5 and 7 years old. Like some people just don't get it because they're new.
Last episode, Adam talked about Gary Roberts and having someone like Gary Roberts in the Leafs lineup. The peak of Gary Roberts in Toronto was 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's a long
2002.
time. Even like we're coming up on the Sundin era being too far gone.
It's already.
You think so? Yeah.
It's already way too far gone. He was only a Leaf for 1 season of LFR.
Mats?
Yeah. 07-08. That was it. That was his last season as a Leaf.
Wow.
And then 08-09, he was a Canuck, and then he retired.
And then 2007 is 15 years ago now.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a long
This
time.
is season 16, and that was the first one.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Jesus. We're old.
Yeah, we are. It's you know what else has been fun is, so, you know, maybe moving on to other teams, but it's still related to the Leafs. Kessel with his Iron Man streak.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's funny, like we're giving him his flowers in spurts. He played game 989 in a row, and then 990 to set the record, and then he scored his 400th, and then he's going to hit 1,000. But I looked at the game that his streak began. It was November 3rd, 2009, against the Tampa Bay Lightning. And there were only 4 players in that game on either team who are still in the NHL.
Mm-hmm.
There was Phil Kessel, who was the oldest amongst those players. A rookie, Victor Hedman. A sophomore, Steven Stamkos. And a sophomore, Luke Schenn. Those are the only guys from that game who are still in the league.
That's a long time ago.
It's a very long time ago, man.
Luke Schenn. Like, there's a guy who nobody thought was going to stick around for this long and is still contributing NHLer. Last night, he got tossed, I believe, from the game in Vancouver.
Yeah, he got in a fight.
Yeah.
So.
But there's a guy who after that run in Toronto, you were like, oh, he's done. You know, he's going to bounce around the league and be out in a little bit. But he's still here. He's still doing a props to Schenn.
873 career NHL games.
He's going to hit 1,000 games.
He might. He's got to play
2.5 seasons.
That's a long time.
It is but if I sat here and said Luke Schenn's 2.5 seasons away from 1,000 NHL games, you would have been shocked 5 years ago.
Well, between 2018-19 and 2019-20, he played for 3 different AHL teams. I thought he was done.
He's going to do it. Luke Schenn's got the dog in him.
He's got that dog.
He's got that dog in him.
It's Fresh Ball Fall, baby! It's the season of pumpkin spice and making your crotch look all things nice. Now, you know that the promo code is DANGLE, and you get free shipping.
And?
He did it.
Huh?
And 20%.
Well, you go to Manscaped, 20% off. Manscaped.com.
You dumbass.
You did the free shipping and not the 20% this time.
All right.
Pull something out of the treasure
Adam's
box.
going to celebrate fresh dumbass Christmas.
We're looking.
Is that the shampoo or the conditioner?
Shampoo and or conditioner.
Manscaped also has shampoo and conditioner
They
if you
sent us
don't
a
know.
bunch of
It's
stuff.
awesome.
The body
This
wash
is actually
good.
the body wash.
Oh, the body wash.
Idiots.
Hey.
And it smells really good.
Let's go.
Steve actually uses it.
I do.
And it comes as a part of the whole package, the Performance Package 4.0, which you get, the body trimmer, the weed whacker, the ear, nose, and it's all there. It's all good advanced skin-safe technology, and this stuff smells awesome. People will comment on it. I literally walked by Steve's head, which is the only big head comparable enough to mine. And it smelled amazing. And I just want to say, listen, I'm not the kind of guy who's going to compliment you on your shampoo. But Manscaped body wash, shampoo, and conditioner, you should check it out. Sorry to the guy with the subwoofer for banging on the table like that. Manscaped.com, 20% off.
Shave your balls.
Free shipping.
No.
With the code DANGLE. That's 20% off and free shipping. Manscaped.com when you use the promo code DANGLE. Manscaped. Clear out the leaves. It's your tree trunk's time to shine.
I'm so sorry. We need to move on to the Ottawa Senators.
Okay.
Because they made news yesterday. I don't know if you caught it, but the Ottawa Senators are going to have new ownership. As we all suspected, they are looking to sell the team after Eugene Melnick's passing. I believe it is in the hands of his daughters now.
His family.
Yeah, in the family and the trust. And Sportico did the reporting on this, and they valued the team at $655 million American, which seems like it's undervalued for a sports franchise these days.
Yeah, they got a lot to do though. They need a new building.
I think it was Friedman who made this point. You wait till the sale before doing the sale. Well, you get the building first. You get the land.
Oh,
you get the building, then you do this sale. Then that 655 becomes
800, 900. Yeah.
859. Yeah.
I mean, we all sort of thought this was coming, right? So I'm not surprised in the slightest. Like, it barely registered with me, but good. I gotta imagine it feels good for the family to kind of move on. You know what I mean? And you could still be Sens fans, and it'd be nice for the Melnyk family to maybe continue to be a part of things if they want to be. But yeah, we all knew this was coming.
Yep,
we all knew this was coming.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's some rumblings, some musings about if the LeBreton Flats deal falls through. There's a man by the name of Tillman Fertitta who once, I believe, owned the UFC, who now owns the Houston Rockets.
Buying the Sens?
And moving it to Houston.
Nah.
The response to that is that the Ottawa Senators have a strong fan base in Ottawa, and there's no desire to move this team, despite whoever buys it.
That'd be a huge mistake.
It would be. That is a storied franchise for the NHL, and they need to remain in Ottawa forever.
And a big fan base in a big city. Like, Ottawa is growing really quickly. It's big in terms of landmass. Literally, all they've needed this entire time is a building in a proper place. Listen, if you make a building a pain in the ass to get to, people aren't going to go.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen that in Glendale, the other Dale. We saw that in Glendale, and we're seeing it in Ottawa. The difference is maybe in Ottawa it wasn't quite as pronounced.
Mm-hmm. In real estate,
over as long a period of time.
In real estate, the old adage is location, location, location.
Yeah,
and they built something with a terrible location. And for decades now, we've been asking the Sens to frickin' get a building so that people can go to the games. And it seems like this sale of the Senators is going to be the best thing for Sens fans.
Yeah,
because it's finally, we're moving on from Melnyk. We're moving on from that regime where you lost some of your greatest alumni from the organization, and you didn't. Alfredson didn't speak to the team for a decade. You know, we're moving past that finally, and we're getting into this new era of the Sens where they're going to have a new owner, and hopefully they're going to have that. They're going to have that new building on the Red Flats.
100%. Well, and so it's the Leafs lost an era of alumni, but they have a lot of eras to draw alumni from, right? The Sens, I mean. You lose Alfredson, you lose Chris Phillips, like you're losing your whole history basically in terms of on the ice. Yeah, they got to bring them in. Like, listen, are the Sedins doing an amazing job with the Canucks? I don't know, but it feels right to have them there, doesn't it?
The Sedins got there and the team went in the toilet.
I highly doubt it's their fault, but
I don't think they have anything to direct. Like, it's not their fault directly.
Yeah,
but it's just bad luck, I guess.
Like, I mean, I don't think former players should be every GM in the league, but I do think a team's most beloved figures throughout the team's history should be involved with the team somehow.
Do you want to run through some of the franchise values that came out yesterday as well?
Sure,
because that was also released on Sportico along with the report that the Sens are for sale. We should look into buying the Sens.
Yeah,
I think if we put our pennies together, we might be able to get it for like $100.
Okay,
we'll see. So here is. Did they just have a list?
I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah, they just had their list here. Let me pull up the list.
Oh, Adam doesn't do anything. Shut up. See how hard it is to do a show just us two?
Yeah, no, we greatly miss Adam Wild. We don't get his Devils takes
upstairs
today. Yeah, because we record in his house.
Man, people did not have humor about what he said about the Devils at all.
Nope. And that's okay, because I think he stands by it.
Yeah. But like, they're like tagging us in it and like, you guys are stupid. And I'm like, Jesse and I disagree.
Yeah, we like the Devils.
But there was another one. Adam got blamed for something that I said again. This was separate. And I'm like, why does everyone stop picking on my friend?
Yeah,
stop picking on Adam.
Stop it. He's a good guy. All right. I got the list. So, Sportico's list of the top NHL franchises by value. Toronto Maple Leafs come in at number 1 to no one's surprise. They are worth $2.12 billion, less than the Toronto Raptors.
I'm a little surprised.
What do you mean?
Just because there's so many Canadian dollars in there that it surpasses the Rangers. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. No, that's a very good point. I said to no one's surprise, but I guess it's considering what the franchise of the New York Rangers is, and Toronto being in Canada.
You have to overcome the exchange rate.
Yeah.
To pass the Rangers, a team that plays out of Madison Square Garden.
Mm-hmm.
That's no small feat.
An original 6 team that has the legacy that the Rangers do. Like, you'd think that they would be able to just push past the Leafs just by being in America as well. Yeah.
It's a big deal.
So yeah, the Rangers are in second. They're worth $2.01 billion. The Canadians are in third, 1.7. The Blackhawks.
Canadians are maybe, the most remarkable team there, especially among the top 3, because Montreal's a lot smaller than both those markets, and they have the Canadian dollar factor.
And with these things, I like to imagine, like, okay, something dire happens. Jeff Molson has to sell the Montreal Canadiens. Someone's coming in there, and the 1.7, I think, is undervalued. Someone's coming in there, some rich dude who's a Canadian and wants that team, who's a billionaire. He's paying like 2.5 for that.
Nah.
The Montreal Canadiens to own them?
Relatively new building.
$2.5 billion.
Damn.
Easily. Chicago Blackhawks is 1.4. Boston's 1.4. That seems a little low to me as well. The LA Kings 1.3. The Flyers 1.3. The Oilers 1.2. The Caps 1.2.
I mean, they got McDavid. Yeah. They jumped one spot. They used to be in 9. They're now in 8th. The Caps are in 9th, 1.2, 1.22. The Red Wings are 1.1. Red Wings at 10 is a bit surprising. I think if they go on a run of success, they'll shoot up, especially with the brand new building.
Mm-hmm. I don't think Detroit has been the most valuable place to own a sports team, if that makes sense.
I guess the community's kind of gone through it.
I don't think, it's been the biggest market and the best place to own a sports team. And it's unlike, like, you look at the top 10 there that we just listed off. We listed off Chicago, Boston, LA. Those are some of the biggest cities in North America.
Edmonton's pretty tiny to be in that top 10.
But it's hockey. And I guess when you look at it from that perspective, like, Edmonton's 1.29, Detroit's 1.12.
Well, and like Edmonton's under 1 million people.
Mm-hmm.
Boston's under 1 million people. Boston's like the same size as Winnipeg. No one knows that. It's just they have a way bigger
metro area.
Yeah.
And all the schools are there. You got a young demographic.
Yeah.
We go down the list. We go down to the very bottom. According to Sportico, at 32nd, their franchise valuation, the Arizona Coyotes come in at $465 million, which is like pennies.
It's impossible
for a sports franchise.
It's impossible to buy a sports team, eh? Like, you can be worth nearly $500 million and be the Coyotes.
Yeah, but that's so cheap. For a North American pro sports team in the Big Four, 465, they got to be, I think, in last place amongst MLB, NBA, NHL, and NFL. Because every NFL team, they win.
There's some sad sack MLB teams.
That's true. Like, if
how much are the Marlins worth?
The Florida Marlins,
with the Rays.
Let me see. I can pull it up. Let's see.
We don't have to spend too much.
No. I want to know. MLB franchise values. Hopefully Sportico also did a list, so then it's about the same.
More people are talking about moving the Rays than the Coyotes.
The Rays are, they can't draw. They can't draw fans even though they have a fantastic team. All right. I've gone to the bottom of the list. The Miami Marlins. Did you look?
I can't read from here.
Awesome. The Miami Marlins are in 30th place according to Forbes.
30th out of 30.
30th out of 30. They're Forbes MLB franchise value rankings.
Okay.
What do you think they are worth? The Arizona Coyotes, once again, are valued at $465 million. What is the last place team in the MLB valued at?
$575.
$990 million. It costs $1 billion to buy the least valued MLB team.
Where would that put them on the NHL list?
990?
990.
990 makes you the right behind the Canucks, so the 12th most valuable NHL franchise.
Okay, that's not as high up on the list as I thought. That's still
12
pretty
is pretty
wild.
high.
Yeah. Wow. So yeah, the NHL's got some work to do. Can't wait for that lockout. By the way, screw you and Adam for having that agent provocateur with Alan, talking about the lockout and when it's going to happen.
Let's talk about agent provocateur for a second. But before we even do that, your chair goes all the way back and it throws me off.
Mine?
My chair that I sit on to the left, because I'm in your chair right now, mine doesn't. Mine stops.
To take pressure off my spine, I like a good lean.
It's very annoying.
I do that in the car. My wife hates it.
So yesterday, an episode of Agent Provocateur dropped, and the title of the episode, Steve,
is No Fun Time with Alan Walsh, Adam Wilde, and their son, Kelsey Blake.
The title of the episode is the NHL headed towards another lockout?
Cool.
It was a really fun episode because Adam and Alan, they allowed me to be on the show. They said before the show, Alan was like, Jesse, why don't you come on? And this is going to be a full questions episode. It's just going to be me and Adam. We're just going to be taking questions and talking about things that people have wanted us to talk about for a while now. And then he's like, come on, ask some questions too. And I was like, yes, please. I'll definitely do it. So,
of course. I started to listen this morning.
It was the three of us on the show, and we did a deep dive into a lot of things that people wanted Alan to just go off on, including the NHL lockout that seems like it's imminent.
Oh,
and
does it?
He outlines how Gary Bettman consistently over the last several lockouts has had a plan to lock out the players. That has been his strategy to get what he wants. So when they implemented the salary cap, that lockout, he wanted the triple hard salary cap. So that's what we're getting. That's what we're getting in this league. And the offer that he offered the players when it was coming down to the deadline of like, hey, we're either going to get a deal done, or we're going to lock you out. His offer wasn't a real offer. His offer was something so ridiculous and outlandish that you would never accept it. But he gets the perception in the media, to the owners, to the players, that no, I came to the table with a great offer, and so Alan's he's not worried, but he's showing us that we should all look at this as Gary's going to get what he wants through a lockout, because that is what he has done throughout history, time and time again.
So 24-25.
Yes.
What a scam. Because, dude, what have you guys been saying for months? That's exactly when the cap is going to go up.
Mm-hmm.
And then the players are going to get locked out. So the cap is going to go up because the players paid the owners back. The cap is going to go up and then they're going to get locked out. What a scam. What an actual scam.
It looks like this time Gary's sticking point is going to be clawing back HRR, hockey-related revenue. Mm-hmm. So currently, I believe the split is 50-50 or 51-49. Do you know correctly?
It's close to 50-50.
It's pretty much 50-50.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to try and push for something like 60-40.
What a scam.
So if history repeats itself and Gary gets what Gary wants because he is the evil man who gets whatever he wants, we're probably going to look at a lockout until he gets that number somewhere closer to 60-40.
You got a kid who's a elite athlete, play something else. Play something else. Like, please let me love you.
Do you play for the Miami Marlins?
Yeah, go play for the Miami Marlins. Play in front of 45 people every night and make $20 million.
Yeah, so go listen to that episode. It's out right now on your favorite podcast app. It is out as well on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/SDPN. Go to sdpn.ca to see all the fun things that we have going on.
What a bad faith scam. The cap's going to go up and then there's going to be a lockout.
So the cap could go up as early as next season based on the numbers. So that'd be cool, but
significant.
We'll see. We'll see where it goes.
Whenever they're like, oh yeah, cap's going up by $1 million. I'm like, okay. Mm-hmm. It's not.
Gary alluded to a significant jump at the last Board of Governor meetings if the players meet all of the requirements.
Yeah? Did he allude to the lockout?
No, he would never do that. He would never show his hand.
He really does think we're all stupid. Who listens to Gary Bettman and just at face value goes, got it? No one. If he told me he was showing up at 4:00 for something, I would just plan for him to never come. Jeez.
He's a lawyer and he knows how to lawyer. So we got to do our little segment here where I just want to run through some of the hot starts going around the league.
Okay.
First, I'm going to throw this note out. Erik Karlsson's back.
Yo, holy shit. He had one good game and I'm like, okay, good for him, whatever. We all knew it was there. I didn't know this was there. I thought this was long gone.
He dedicated himself in the offseason to a complete rehab. You know, he said he's working his way back. He's not ever going to be Erik Karlsson of 4 years ago, Ottawa Senators Erik Karlsson that we're watching. But his offensive power seems like it's returned in that he can get to where he wants and he can join the rush. He can enter the play and he can finish, which is just incredible. So the numbers he has right now on the year are, if HockeyDB wants to load, he has 9 goals. 9 goals is important because last year he had 10. He had 10 the whole season.
Oh my gosh.
In 12 games, Erik Karlsson has 9 goals, 6 assists, 15 points.
On the back end.
Playing D.
Dude.
His offensive power's back.
Easily. And like, if he's not the greatest defensively, that's all right. He never was. That's okay. Well, that's not true. He never was. But like, he was not known to be the strongest in his own end necessarily. But he made up for it with this unbelievable offense. And how about that fucking goal Timo Meier scored?
Yeah, ridiculous goal. And I feel bad for the Anaheim Ducks because they don't play defense in any sense of the word. Like watching those highlights, watching that game, you're walking through the defense at all times in Anaheim.
You talk about a slam dunk, dang it. Jakob Silfverberg absolutely sniping on his own goalie.
I missed that one.
You didn't see that?
No.
He grabs the puck. I think the Sharks were trying to cut into the slot. He takes the puck off someone and he tries to ring it around the boards and instead beats his own goalie like right under the block.
Okay, I'll see that one a day.
Or right under the glove or something. Yeah, no, it's a snipe. Great goal.
God.
Great goal. Scored on his own goalie with a shot.
I feel bad because Zegras and Terry they've been really good.
Zegras is nasty.
He's going to be a player for a long time in this league. But in terms of Erik Karlsson's numbers and the pace he's on, the last time Erik Karlsson had 20 goals in a season was 2014-2015.
Wow.
And having 9 goals in 12 games, looks like he's going to hit that. And you go back to your...
McDavid wasn't in the league yet.
How many years in between is that? 2015 to 2022? 7 years?
I think it's 8 seasons.
8 seasons. How often do you see a player go back to their 8 seasons ago form? What he's doing is really, really cool 12 games in.
I think it's a couple things, right? Like, listen, scoring's gone up.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone up. 6-point games and all these hat tricks. I know there's a little bit of early season shine, but like Rasmus Dahlin scoring in 5 straight games.
Greatest defenseman of all time, Rasmus Dahlin.
McDavid is averaging a goal and an assist a game.
McDavid's next.
Yeah, okay. So like, but with the way things were going last season and obviously creeping into this season, it seemed like the NHL was starting to be built for a guy like Erik Karlsson after Erik Karlsson's abilities had left him. They're back. And like, you know, I have incredible admiration for professional athletes who are able to do this because they're able to do this at the most elite level. And by this, I don't mean perform and score. I mean like rehab your body and come back. Like my own personal journey, like I think a lot of you, what you know about me is I have a bad back. But like that's it. I had a chronically bad back from the time I was like 13 till now. I'm 34. Mm-hmm. But I really, really, really fucked it up in 2018, in the spring of 2018. It got better and it got to a place where I was kind of chronically uncomfortable. I would hurt it every so often, but I could get it to a manageable place where I could just live my life and do what I needed to do. And I kind of feel like that's sort of where Erik Karlsson was at for a while, where it's like, okay, this isn't optimal, but it's manageable. There are days where I feel normal. There are days where I don't. Then in 2020, when I screwed up my back shortly after Leo was born, I'm not sleeping. I got a newborn at home. My body's not recovering. I was just like, I couldn't walk properly for like over a month. Right. So I really had to dedicate myself to rebuilding my body. And I'm still not all the way there, but I'm miles better than I was. And it's taken 2 years. 2 years to build my crummy podcast body up to a place where I'm not in pain every single day. I can only imagine how difficult it's been for Erik Karlsson.
Who's a professional athlete.
And he went through COVID like the rest of us and his own personal tragedies. And dude, like he's had a really tough go of it. It's great to see him back. The sport's better with him in it. Yeah,
and you'd love to see when they go through that journey and they get to the other side. Like with you. Like it's inspiring and it gives you a sense of joy because when it was peak Erik Karlsson, it was you'd watch the highlights and you'd be marveled at what he can do. Mm-hmm. And you're sad when that magic goes away. And to see it come back, like it brings that same joy again. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great start for the year for Erik Karlsson. You mentioned Connor McDavid in there. The first 2 thoughts on 32 Thoughts, which is going away, by the way. Did you hear?
What? No.
Yeah, Elliot's ending 32 Thoughts. He's doing
what?
Yeah, he's changing the blog itself.
Yeah.
He's changing it to where he's doing smaller just articles now. He said it was he talked about it on Friday's episode of the podcast with Jeff Merrick. Mm-hmm. It became a little too time consuming. It was taking a little bit of time to fill through 32 thoughts each time. And it came to a point where there's too many other obligations as being a rights holder at Sportsnet. You got to do TV, you got to do podcasts, all that
That's got to be hard.
Yeah.
Well, because he's banking stuff for a week. And for some stories, it's not a week, it's several. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I've rarely read through a 32 Thoughts and not been like, how the fuck, where did he find the time to write all this?
Yeah.
This is really long.
Sometimes it's like, it's 25 thoughts that have been stretched out to 32 because that's just the number or whatever, you know?
That was one thing Mike Cormack, who's now with the Toronto Star, was with The Athletic, was with Sportsnet. He hammered into me like, no, you got to be more concise with your writing because I'd write flowery and long and everything. And then 32 Thoughts would come out and I'd be like, what the hell? That's the most successful thing we have.
Yeah. It's the number one blog.
And it's 90 million words. But yeah, no, good for Elliot.
So his writing is going to change, but that's a side point. Okay. As I quote 32 Thoughts. See, this one here, actually, it's already begun to change because this was 23 Thoughts.
Oh.
So he's already dialed back. It's already changed a little. Number 1 and 2 of the 23 Thoughts this time. Connor McDavid has 11 goals in 10 games. on pace for 90. Just imagine how incredible that chase would be.
Oh, so he's gone up from when I read his stats.
Oh, yeah, because he scored a bunch last night. He was on fire. It was a great game. Seriously, think about it. McDavid took 314 shots last season, his career high by 40. He's on that trajectory once again and shooting at a ridiculous 30%. The NHL record is 32.8% by Charlie Simmer in 1980-81. He scored 56.
Charlie Simmer. I thought it was Craig Simpson. Oh, no, Craig Simpson's career.
No, okay.
Career.
The single season is Charlie Simmer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, is that Craig Simpson's nickname? I don't think it is.
No, that's.
I was like, Simmer, I get, but where'd Charlie come from?
No, I'm just reading the. Reading the note.
Okay,
yeah.
my bad.
So Connor McDavid, I don't know if he was in the off season and said, "Hey, I'm just gonna do more scoring on my own."
Yeah.
But that's what it seems like he did.
Yeah.
And he's now just on the rush all the time, and it's unstoppable.
It's a continuation of what the Oilers had to adjust to in the playoffs, where Draisaitl couldn't really move and do the Draisaitl things that he needs to do. So Evander Kane picked up some of that slack, but McDavid's picking it up, and it was either Friedge or Merrick on one of their shows. CJ might have said it too. Is like, what if McDavid just decided to score more?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to play make. I'm just going to score more. If the lane's there, I'm going to take it. No one's going to beat me because I'm Connor McDavid, and I'm just going to score. And now he's scoring at over a goal a game pace, and it's November now. His goal pace is going up. Up. Now, he did this last year, where we talked to him, and Draisaitl did this last year, where they were on like 180-point pace, and we were talking about, are we going to get the first 150-point guy since Yager, I think? And he ended up at 123. What a bum. But it shows you how hard it is to get to that pace and maintain it throughout the season. He's obviously feeling great.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see how long he keeps it up. Listen, Matthews won the Hart. Matthews scored 60. It was really cool. It's McDavid's league. He's well on his way to another Hart trophy, another Art Ross, and honestly, maybe his first Rocket.
I think it's a mission for him this year to win the Rocket, and I think I'm trying to think about how, in any other sport right now, is any other player so far and away the best in the league? Because right now, Connor McDavid,
like year in, year out,
is the best player in the NHL, and there's no debate about it. It's not even a conversation the way he's dominating right now. And the Oilers last night, when they went up 5-1 versus Nashville, they're unstoppable. When Draisaitl and him are really going, and
it happens so fast.
Oh yeah, there's one play just off of the draw. I think it was I'm not sure if it was a power play or just 5-on-5, but like Draisaitl took the draw and McDavid was in the bumper spot, so it must have been the power play. And McDavid was on the bumper spot. He just walked in and scored. Yep. It was there's nothing. No matter who's out there, you could have 5 Bobby Orrs versus that Oilers lineup right there, and he scores.
If you're up 5-1 in the Oilers and they make it 5-2, you're in danger.
Oh yeah,
you're in danger. It happens really fast with that team. There are times where they look like a discombobulated mess. They still have defensive warts. They don't always get the greatest goaltending.
The 5-1 game versus Nashville ended 7-4.
That's not good.
You can't do that.
But they won.
Right. They put up 7 goals. They didn't care about the other side of the ice, but a 5-1 shouldn't end 7-4.
Did Gretzky ever get a Selke vote?
Probably not.
I doubt it.
Maybe.
Who gives a shit? I don't know. I think nerds care about that trophy. It's me. I'm nerds.
Nerds.
What a
Steve's
nerd.
calling you out, nerds.
No, it's me. I'm nerds. With Kadri for Selke and all that.
Yeah.
That went away. But he's on a mission. And he's one of those players where when Crosby got his cup in 2009, it was a coronation. And then when Ovechkin took longer and longer and longer to get his cup, it was like, if his career is over and he doesn't get one, it's going to feel wrong. Then he got it.
Is he ever going to do it?
Yeah, and then he got it and it felt right. Connor McDavid's going to get a cup.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get a cup. It's probably going to be in Edmonton. When's it going to be?
It's a situation where, as with Colorado, where if you just for the last like 3-ish years, if you're like, oh, this is the season Colorado does it. This is the season Colorado does it. This is the season Colorado. Eventually, you're going to hit because one of these years they're going to do it.
The reason they won, and Drew told me this, is because I stopped betting on them to win.
You did it for a long time, and then you bailed.
I said they were going to win the 2020 Cup and the 2021 Cup. And then I was like, all right, fine. It's going to be, I don't even remember who I said for 2022. But then they won.
I think you had Tampa. I remember because we
for the
put
three-peat?
Yeah, I think I'm
maybe
pretty sure. I don't remember.
I was pretty close.
Yeah, they got there again. But you mentioned earlier when we started this conversation that they unlocked something during the playoffs. I think that's so accurate because the playoffs is a different sport. Mm-hmm. It's a different game the way hockey is, and the fact that they were able to take that offense that they had that was so great during the beginning of regular season last year. Remember, they fired their head coach.
Yep.
Like this wasn't a dominant 82-game team. They were awful for a large stretch of the middle of the regular season. They were great at the beginning. They were great at the end. And then they were great in the playoffs, especially versus that Calgary series. And they learned so many lessons. And sometimes all it takes for a team to get to the next step is to get to the cusp of the next step and then to lose and then to come back and be like, we're not losing again. This might be Edmonton's year. It's 12 games in, as we keep saying with all of these conversations, but Edmonton looks unfucking real.
What's the
Get
cutoff?
some goaltending too.
Well, what's the cutoff for that? Because it's 6 games, it's 9 games, it's 12 games,
it's 15. It's
is
20.
it like American Thanksgiving? Like what is it?
I think American Thanksgiving is a good bar. You know, if you're out of a playoff spot there, it's kind of hard to climb back in. If you're like way out, like at the bottom, you know.
Like someone tweeted me today, they're like, you need 20 to 25 games to know what you got. And I'm like, that is a long fucking time.
If you're like under 500, 25 games in, if you're like 5 games under, that's hard. Yeah. You got to climb way out of that. And like we saw St. Louis do it in their Stanley Cup year, but like it's rare.
We got to stop. I hate that St. Louis team.
Yeah?
Just for what they've done to the discourse.
Now every team thinks they can do it.
Yeah, I don't have anything against the Blues. I just hate what they've done to the discourse. Anyone in last place in January is like, you know what, fellas? Here we come.
We still got this.
We got it. Shut up. Yeah, no, you don't.
They've ruined it forever.
The reason we talk about the Blues is because it's unusual.
It's fair.
Yeah, man. I hate what they've done to the discourse.
What's your date? Is Thanksgiving your date too?
I think you know what you are at December 1st at latest. Mm-hmm. Now, barring a major change. And this is what, naturally I pre-argued in the car. And, but like, let's say the Leafs make some changes. And I'm making it about the Leafs.
A couple trades in the middle of the lineup.
They make some changes and like, who knows, maybe even they get a new coach. And then they turn it around. I know people are going to come around and be like, idiot! And I'm going to be like, what? They did all the things I said they needed to do and then started winning. I'm the idiot? I'm not sure about that. So, like, I say December 1st is the cutoff. I can think of a team who was shit by December 1st who wasn't the St. Louis Blues. The 2016 Pittsburgh Penguins. Mm-hmm. Well, 2015. 2015-16.
Pittsburgh twice fired their coach midseason and won a Stanley Cup.
Yep. Kessel couldn't do a thing. I think it was Mike Johnston got fired. Mike Sullivan comes on board. Mike replaces Mike. But like, that's a significant change. You fired your coach. And I want to say they made a move and I can't remember what it was. But you fired your coach. That is no insignificant thing. Right? So what did the Blues do?
Fire their coach?
Nope. Well, yeah, they did, but then they continued to be shit.
And then they won.
They got a goalie.
That's true.
They got a brand new starting goalie.
Yeah.
Like, so maybe Pontus Holmberg is the Leafs' Jordan Binnington. I don't know. Wouldn't that be great?
Also, the firing Keefe thing, if we want to go back to the Leafs briefly, sure. I don't think it happens because I think you just run it out. No matter how dark it gets, The contract's over at the end of the season. Dubas's contract is over at the end of the season. Run them out.
I don't think Dubas should personally feel a pressure to fire him.
No.
I'd be like, no, this is my guy. I'm going down with the ship.
We're going down together. We're here. That's it. Unless Brendan steps in and fires him, he's not getting fired.
Nah. His Dubas's mantra the whole time, and we can talk about the merits of him sticking to it, but I at very least admire his willingness to stick to it. This is what I'm doing, and if I got to go down with the ship, I'm going down with the ship.
It's a stubbornness that you can appreciate, I guess, because that's your guy.
You can't be too jumpy either. But the reason I'm calling for change with the Leafs specifically is we have a body of evidence over years, right? Again, I hate that I have to start every conversation from the beginning, but it's not 10 games. It's an accumulation of years. But if they're last place January 1st, they can do it because the Blues did in 2019.
That's what we'll keep going back to. All right, last of our trio of hot starts that are around the NHL that we want to shout out. The Boston Bruins. How dare you? You were supposed to be the team that fell out of the Atlantic Division playoff race, and the Sens were going to take your spot, or the Red Wings, or somebody's going to climb up in there, and you were going to struggle with injuries all the start of the season. Then Marchand comes back early. You get the greatest goaltender in the world in Linus Ullmark, and all of a sudden the Boston Bruins are 9-1 to start the year.
Oh, Jesse,
are you kidding me?
Jesse, I just got this really sore shoulder. Don't mind if I pat it. I had them ranked higher than any of you heading into the season. I didn't have them first in the damn division.
First in the league.
Yeah.
9-1. They don't lose.
What's the word? Starts with an M. Magic.
Oh, I was going to say muffins.
Do they have? Yeah, they probably have good muffins in Massachusetts.
No, muffins are good.
Where is Dunkin' Donuts from? Is it from New York or Boston?
Chain.
Yeah, but where's it from?
I don't know.
Starbucks is a chain. Where's it from?
Where's McDonald's from? McDonald's doesn't have a heritage to any location.
Starbucks does.
Starbucks does, yeah, and we all know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all know it's Seattle.
So I'm asking
a
question about Dunkin' fucking Donuts.
Who gives a fucking shit?
Me. I asked the question. Anyway. Where did we
found it?
They're good.
How did you know? How did you do this?
What?
Dunkin' Donuts was founded in Quincy, Massachusetts.
Let's absolutely go! I love it. Can I tell you why I thought it was founded in Massachusetts? Can I tell you why?
I don't know why, Steve.
Ben Affleck and Pete Blackburn.
Why do they love Dunkin' Donuts?
Yeah.
Both of them, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I see Pete talk about them all the time, but just all those photos of Ben Affleck. You've never seen the photo of Ben Affleck carrying all the Dunkin', and I'm pretty sure he drops it?
I had no idea that Dunkin' Donuts was a Massachusetts thing.
I had no idea he was fluent in Spanish, but we learned things from TikTok, don't we?
Headquarters is in Canton, Massachusetts, and it was founded in 1950, 72 years ago in Quincy, Massachusetts.
Let's go.
Dunkin' Donuts. It is a Boston. It is a mass whole thing.
I love it.
I had no idea.
So anyway, I said the Bruins had, listen, the most abused term in all of hockey is the last dance. Basketball had an actual last dance. The NHL has never actually had it. There are ones where you could go back in revisionist history, be like, yeah, this is the last dance or whatever. The Lightning had last day of school.
The context of the actual last dance is the greatest player of all time going for a 6th championship. And people are throwing this word out all the time in NHL circles, being like, awful. Oh, the last dance. No, it's not the equivalent.
But it's rare that teams will go for it and then pretty obviously set themselves up for, at minimum, a retool the next year. And that's exactly what the Bruins are doing. Patrice Bergeron has probably already hit his games played bonus. Mm-hmm. Probably. Krejci probably too. So those bonuses carry over to next season, totaling, I don't know, $3.5-4 million. I don't know what the number is, but it's several $1 million that's going to eat into next year's cap. So the cap will not go up for the Boston Bruins next year. It will go down, right? That's bad. They got to re-sign David Pastrnak. They got a lot of work to do next season, but they set themselves up. You know what? Bergeron's coming back. With Krejci, get your shit from Czechia, come back. And, hey, everyone, get your surgery in the offseason and rest up because we're going for it. And they're going for it. They're playing like they have no tomorrow.
How many games, take a guess, is Patrice Bergeron's game played bonus? It's
like 10.
He gets $2.5 million if he hits this threshold. How many games is this?
I think it's 10.
It is 10 games. Well done.
It's a joke.
He did it. He hit it. $2.5 million. It was a joke. Also, shout out the greatest website in the world, Cap Friendly, who has this information.
Easily the best.
How is this just available? Thank you, Cap Friendly. That's incredible that you have
Go
that.
look at Krejci's.
Oh, let's check Krejci. Yeah, it's
this cap is like $1 million.
It was just so they didn't have to give it to him up front. Like it was such a
look at all those UFAs.
Let me see.
Oh my God, that's a lot. That is a lot. So you can't even find Krejci because he's so far down.
He's on IR right now.
Oh, he is? No. Yeah. So he probably hasn't
games played bonus $1 million at 10 games, $500K at 20. $500K bonus earned for playoffs qualification. Krejci's only played 8 games. He's 2 away.
So wait, $1 million for 10 games, $500K for 20, and $500K if they make the playoffs?
Yep.
That's $2 million.
Yep.
So him and Bergeron's bonuses that they will probably both hit total $4.5 million. And if it were any other team in the league, like, can you imagine the Leafs are like, yeah, we're yard sailing $4.5 million for next season. We'd be screaming to the hills. But it's the Bruins who are very obviously trying to do something here. They're making it. They're making it and they're playing like this is it. And Linus Ullmark, I got to say, let me pat myself on the back again. I have Ullmark and Swayman in my pool, and who I got off waivers. And Ullmark, undefeated heading into last night's game.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Bruins are losing, and he's allowed 5 goals and gets yanked. And I was like, well, you can't win them all. And then I checked my score, and Ullmark got me a bunch of points. And I went, what? What happened? They came back and won. And he came back and won in a game where he got pulled. He allowed 5 goals, got pulled. Jeremy Swayman came in. Jeremy Swayman left with an injury. Ullmark goes back in. So the Bruins tie it. He's the goalie of record again. And then they win. He's still undefeated on the season. Legend. What are you showing me, Jesse? You have him too?
Team where I also have Linus Ullmark.
Oh, that's how I know I'm smart.
We had the same situation happen last night. I also have Ullmark. It has been wonders for my fantasy team.
You have one goalie?
Yep.
What's your games played minimum?
3.
Ours is 4.
Oh, okay. It's a little trickier with 4 games.
Yeah. That's why you're always like, why do you have so many goalies? That's why.
Okay. I still think you can stream goalies in that you can pick up the backup who's playing that week.
I'm real close to dropping Demko.
Oh, no. Don't drop Demko.
Oh, I really want to. Well, the one we were talking about before the game, or before the show, if we can talk about hot starts, let's talk about slow starts. Jacob Trouba.
Yeah,
0 goals, 3 assists.
That's very specific to your fantasy team.
It's the captain of the Rangers.
Okay.
That's specific.
Okay, but the Rangers aren't slow. Like, I
guess you're right.
I will not take the Rangers slander on this podcast.
I don't think Cale Makar scored either.
No? Really?
He might have 1. He's gotten some assists. But the Avs have gotten off to a bit of a slow start. Penguins, the Lightning, although they had a pretty nice win yesterday.
Yeah, Trouba with 3 assists, no goals on the year.
Oof.
Not a good start for him.
Yeah.
But they don't need it.
They don't need it
at all.
No?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Are you?
I guess we'll see.
Are you trying to say I should be concerned?
There is a hot start I think you've left out.
Okay.
And
they're second in the Metro. They're actually tied for first. The New York Rangers tied for first with the New Jersey Devils, who put on a show versus the Vancouver Canucks, who cannot play defense. Just like the Anaheim Ducks, the Devils walked all over the Canucks last night.
Devils, one of the hottest, if not the hottest team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
But also very disrespectfully, the Vegas Golden Knights are running through teams right now. And there's one player kind of at the forefront of it that no one wants to give their due because a lot of people spent a lot of last season talking shit about a player who just came off neck surgery and played with a broken hand, and that is Jack the Destroyer Eichel.
He has looked fantastic.
On revenge tour.
That OT winner is one of the highlights of the year.
That man is playing with anger and hatred in his heart for the rest of the hockey world.
Yeah.
He's running through teams, man. Look out.
It's also gone underreported that after he got he did disc replacement, right?
Yes, in his neck.
Yes. So disc replacement surgery instead of the other one that the Sabres wanted him to get.
Spinal fusion.
There you go. Two other players also got that same surgery.
Tyler Johnson with the Blackhawks, and
I think a Panther. I forget.
Oh, I forget
the names, but two other players have since had that surgery, and Jack Eichel did it so he walked so the rest of them could run, essentially. And it's been fantastic. Look, his career's revitalized. He's back.
No
pun intended.
We need maybe a little bit more research on this, but how much time needs to pass and what does Jack Eichel need to accomplish for us to call what he did heroic? Like, okay, Sabres traded him. Sabres are doing great. It looks like the Sabres, quote unquote, made the right decision.
This has nothing to do with the Sabres.
This has nothing to do. It doesn't even have anything to do with the value that they got back for Jack Eichel. Jack stood up for his bodily autonomy.
Yep.
He stood up for his health. He stood up for the health that he's going to carry with him for the rest of his life.
This is outside of the hockey part of this.
He as a star in this league allowed himself to be the guinea pig. And he got it done, and look at him now.
Yeah.
Look at him now. Like, it's a really inspiring story. This doesn't need to be a fuck the Sabres thing. It doesn't need to be a him versus Peyton Krebs and Alex Tuck.
Mm-hmm.
It's got nothing to do with that. It's got everything to do with his employer wouldn't let him get a newer surgery that didn't result in him getting cut open every 10 years.
Yeah. It was something that had never been done, and when Jack Eichel gets inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame, because that's probably going to happen.
He's got a ways to go.
The way his career is going, he's probably going to be a Hockey Hall of Famer. That, when we do a retrospective on Jack Eichel's career, that should be a part of his story and his journey. What he did for people who want to get this surgery that looks like it's a lot better for your body. He stood up for his health rights, which is very inspiring.
Let's talk about one of the best contracts in the entire NHL. Because the Vegas Golden Knights, who literally have never heard of the salary cap.
Poppy fell off.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it just fell off there. You gotta pick it up. You gotta throw it back.
Thank you before I step on it.
Yeah. Poppies are very dangerous.
Yes, they are. Incredibly. One of the best contracts in the entire league from a team that has no idea how to work the salary cap, the Vegas Golden Knights. Who am I talking about?
One of the best contracts in the entire league on the Vegas Gold. It's not a goaltender.
It is.
Oh, okay. Logan Thompson?
Logan Thompson.
Okay.
He's played 7 games. He's got a .938 save percentage.
Let's
He's
go.
Off to an incredible start.
Let's go.
Incredible start.
Do you know what I said in our season preview?
I'm trying to remember.
I said Logan Thompson would be good.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And Aiden Hill is also there. He's doing very well. The difference being Aiden Hill makes, I think, $2.5 million. Logan Thompson, at the end of last season, I believe, signed a 3-year contract that pays him. I clicked off the page.
I got it here.
It pays him $766,667 this season, next season, and the one after. That is the best damn contract in the league. You got a non-ELC goalie who is playing as good as any starter in the league right now, signed to essentially league minimum for this season and the 2 after. Holy shit.
Imagine he's just the starter there for under $1 million for 3 seasons.
And they didn't even draft him, I'm pretty sure.
That's robbery.
They signed him out of Canadian University, if I'm not mistaken.
That is absolute robbery.
No,
well
so
done.
I'm wrong. So oh man, like with the Brandon Wheat Kings, but like he was in the MJHL. He played some games in the ECHL. Or no,
he's undrafted.
Yeah, he played for the Binghamton Devils
Undrafted.
of the AHL, the Adirondack Thunder of the ECHL, and then Brock University in 2018-19.
This is an undrafted goalie. Unbelievable. Great start.
Unreal story, unreal contract. Absolutely fantastic.
The funny thing is, like, all he's done throughout his entire pro hockey career, and I guess university career, is be outstanding. And now that he's received a decent shot in the NHL, he's outstanding. He was a 9-14 in 19 games with the Golden Knights in 2021. In Henderson, for the Henderson Silver Knights, he was a 9-20. For the Henderson Silver Knights the year before, in 2021, he was a 9-43. All he's done at every single level is win and be great, and now he's just doing it at the NHL level. Shout out Logan Thompson.
What were his numbers with the Stingrays? I saw he played for the South Carolina CHL.
Stingrays. He had a 2.25 GAA, and he was a 9.29.
I know another goalie who was an amazing South Carolina Stingray and went on to have a really long and good NHL career. James Reimer, who won playoff MVP with them on their way to whatever the trophy is for the ECHL. I forget.
How many players play U Sports and make the NHL?
Almost none.
Like, that's so rare.
It's incredibly rare.
U Sports is our NCAA equivalent for any American listeners.
Yeah, Canadian university sports are definitely getting better.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just not what it is in the States. It's good hockey. Like it's
But no, if you're talented, you don't play U Sports. You play junior, and then you go to major junior, and you play, and then you get drafted.
But then you age out of junior, and you're still like 20, turning 21. You need somewhere to play, so you go to Ryerson or whatever it's called, TMU.
TMU, yeah, Toronto Metro
University. Yeah. Sorry, I went there for 4 years, and it was called something else.
So
you go to TMU. Or something. But if you look up and down that roster, you're like, there's an OHL guy. There's an OHL guy.
No, but those guys, if they have NHL aspirations, they usually don't go to U Sports.
Almost never.
They go overseas, or they go somewhere else, or they sign some sort of other contract where it's not a pro contract.
It's usually a life decision.
Yeah.
If you go to play U Sports, you're going to that university to get a degree, to get into a field that you're going to be in for the rest of your life.
Right. To not play hockey.
Yeah. Like a lot of guys, like, okay, I can go get a degree at a Canadian university, or I could go play in the German second tier league and make like whatever they make in that league.
$1 million bucks.
Probably more than a university student. Oh, it's less than $1 million bucks.
Oh,
but like, even if it's like $250,000.
$250,000.
That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't blame people for being like, you know what, I'll make that and figure it out later.
Mm-hmm.
I'll figure it out later.
No, it's so much more common to go that route as opposed to I'm going to stick around McMaster, and do that. The most talented hockey players don't do that. So the fact that Logan Thompson went to Brock, played 24 games, and then was like, I'm going to keep going, and then signs in the ECHL, and then now is outstanding for the Vegas Golden Knights. It's very, very cool to see.
The only Brock University alumni in the NHL I can think of are Logan Thompson and Kyle Dubas.
You want to do a quick press conference?
Sure.
All right, let's do it.
The script says new sponsor alert.
What?
But these guys are not new. They're true, though. They're true classic. Oof. Here's a shirt. And actually, you know what's great about
hat?
Oh, I'll get you the hat.
Get me a hat. A true classic hat. They sent us a bunch of stuff because we love them.
Catch Steve. Catch Steve. Catch Steve.
Steve's catching a hat. He can't catch it.
True classic. Cool hats, too. Listen, This brand new sponsor is the absolute best fitting tees a man can buy. You've seen True Classic. You've heard us talk about it. Now they're sponsoring our show, which is crazy. If you use that code DANGLE at trueclassic.com for a limited time, you're going to get 25% off. What? 25% off at trueclassic.com. Women have push-up bras. Guys have these tees. We want to show off our best assets, but we were kind of never really given the right fit to do so, and that's what True Classic does. Am I going to attempt to put this hat on my head? No, because my head is...
First try. Try it. Try it.
All right.
It works.
You know what always fits? A True Classic shirt.
Well, let's see if the hat fits.
But does the hat? Hey!
There you go.
Hey!
It's hanging on by that last tooth. Anyway, it's weird seeing me in a hat, isn't it?
It is.
Doesn't look right, right?
No, it looks
anyway,
odd.
Listen. If True Classic could make a bigger hat, that'd be super duper, but the shirts fit awesome.
I took it off.
Fit the hat. Anyway, listen. This is a mess. Learn how to dress yourself properly. Go to trueclassic.com with the code DANGLE. Free shipping included on purchases over $100. That's 25% off. trueclassic.com with the code DANGLE. Strengthen your core wardrobe with True Classic today and get better friends.
You're not a hat guy.
No, here we gotta do the read of the script that I wrote.
This is so long.
True Classic, True Classic, True Classic, True Classic.
What a bet!
Yeah,
Yeah.
where can I do it?
You can do it at Sports Interaction. It's Canada's sportsbook.
Yeah,
Every hockey, football, and basketball game at your fingertips. And the World Cup is almost here. We're going to be talking about some of that throughout the month of November. So excited. You can bet pregame, live and play, or one of our many prop bets made for Canadians by Canadians. It's Sports Interaction, and it makes it easy to deposit, play, and cash out. Why are we raising the roof? Because you need to join now and see all that sports betting has to offer. Go to sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. That's sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. Ontario only, 18 plus. Please raise the roof and play responsibly.
this is very strange.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
All right, we got a ton of questions. I'm going to answer a couple. We're going to get some more of these on Friday. First one comes from Brett. I think
The
this one.
Hitman Hart.
Nope, not that Brett. I think this one's appropriate because of how much we have been talking about fantasy hockey and how much it's come up on today's show. Brett says, should I drop Brodie and Muzzin from my fantasy squad? Brett from Stockholm.
Well, there's no need to drop Muzzin because you can just put him on IR and get someone else. So might as well hold on to him. Brodie, like what metrics does your fantasy pool follow that TJ Brodie is a good ad? Like, I think he's a great player, but like he doesn't play on even the second power play. He doesn't put up a ton of points. He
doesn't hit a lot.
Doesn't hit a lot. He doesn't shoot a lot. He's not taxed with driving the offense for. What are you doing? Why? Yes, drop TJ Brodie. What are you doing? I like him very much as a player. He makes your hockey team better. He does not make your fantasy hockey team better. Why would you do that? That's enough.
Good.
I want to know the list of players like who you could have instead of TJ Brodie.
I think that's a very simple answer. It's yes, drop TJ Brodie.
Drop him.
He's not a very good fantasy player.
Who should I get? It's someone who scores points. What the
All right. I received this one a couple different times, and I'm pulling up the tweet from Ryan M. Stark.
It's a white guy with brown hair and light eyes. It must be Steve Dangle.
Steve, there's a movie coming out called A Christmas Story. Is the guy this guy who looks like you, Peter Billingsley?
He's the little kid.
I don't know what
from
that
the
is.
Original one.
Oh, I don't know.
You'd have to see him as you type in his name as a kid.
Okay, he looks like you. He looks like you, but older.
Does he?
A little bit, yeah.
Ah, shit.
No, he does.
I know, the glasses too, eyebrows too.
Okay,
hairline too.
We're gonna do a side by side. Can you look in? Do you have your glasses?
They're upstairs. Can we pause?
Ah!
Can we pause?
No, we'll do it.
No, we need to do this.
You want to do it?
Yeah, pause.
Okay. All right, we're back. Steve has his glasses now.
All right,
Steve.
here I'll take my headphones off.
Yeah, take your headphones off. Can you see this picture of Peter?
Yeah.
All right, so do this. Oh, hold on.
He even does his hair similarly. Fuck.
Yeah, it looks like you, but slightly older. He could be your dad. You know, but he
Wow.
looks nothing like your dad. but like he could be your dad.
He's got no upper lip.
Can you move over to your right?
Here you go.
Turn a little your face to the right a little. Like slightly. There you go. Oh no, Steve. It's look at you guys.
Oh no. No, he could easily, if not be an uncle, he could be like my mom's cousin.
An uncle, yeah, cousin and uncle. Steve, it's very close.
Is he half Italian?
Possibly.
Billingsley is not.
No,
I mean maybe it's more to the north. I don't know. To the north. Yeah, that's fair play.
A lot of people sent that in. I thought it was funny.
Damn.
You guys kind of look alike. All right. This one's from Traveling Sebi. Traveling Sebi says, in soccer, a own goal is attributed to the defending team and not the last attacking player to have touched the ball. Should they do this in hockey? I always thought it was interesting that they do that in soccer.
So I guess you're piggybacking off of Silverberg. So if I deflect it, let's say I'm John Tavares, I'm standing in front on the power play. I tip it, it goes in off a defender's skate.
Mm-hmm.
Should that be an own goal on the defender or my goal?
Should be an own goal.
I think it should be my goal. Now, if I'm Silverberg and I fire the puck into the net, I think that should be an own goal.
So I think you get into trouble when we leave this as a judgment on the referee or the scorer's part.
That one's pretty obvious.
That one's pretty obvious. I gotta still see that replay, but I think we should just make a definitive call either way.
There'd be like teams probably score 50 own goals in a season, though, in the NHL.
That's a very good point.
And like players who make their money in front of the net are never going to stand for that. Like Joe Pavelski, John Tavares, trying to think of all the players who make their money in front of the net, like Leon Draisaitl, Brady Tkachuk. No, you can't take their goals away for their earnest hard work. But if it's kicked in, listen, assists are up to judgment. Why can't we do this?
Assists aren't up to judgment.
Yes, they are.
What are you talking about?
They're up
to two previous players touch the puck.
No, but what if the players do like a little dipsy doodle back and forth? Sometimes they'll allow for a secondary assist, even though the last two players to touch the puck and the last four players to touch the puck were two different guys.
Boo.
I
don't think it's up to judgment. I think there's a very, very distinct on what an assist is.
Go and pitch this idea to Alan Walsh. To take all these goals away from people trying to earn contracts to feed their families, you piece of garbage.
I think you're 100% right when you say how many times there would be an own goal. I think you're 100% right in that it's just too many, and that's hockey's different than soccer, and that it's not a rare thing. You're
like
right.
Who on the Sharks was credited for the Silverberg goal? Because I just want to see them go to the next contract negotiations and they'll be like, "Oh, I scored 20 goals last year." 19.
Let's take that one back.
Yeah. Like, okay, I know what the paper says, but you and I both know it's 19.
This one comes from Ty Trimble. We'll end it on this. Ty Trimble said, "Would you all be willing to switch seats for a show? I think the minor chaos would be fantastic." And well, Ty, you got your wish today.
Yeah, there you go.
Welcome to today's show.
The monkey's paw as you made Adam deathly ill. Way to go, you piece of garbage.
I blame Adam's sickness on you, Ty. You did it.
Sleep.
We're in different seats because of you.
Thanks. This is a very comfortable chair.
Yeah, it's the nicer chair.
It's only used for guests. It doesn't make sense.
It's Steve's chair now.
Goodbye.
The Steve Dangle Podcast.
Powered by Sports Interaction, Canada's Sportsbook.
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.